Hey Bubble family, welcome back to the channel. Oh, sorry, just gotta move this down just a bit, because otherwise you'll just be like, I'll lose my chin. It's not always a bad thing though. So in today's video, I am doing your Q&A that I always do on a Friday, and I'm going to also talk about the new members that have joined. So if you are interested, whether you have asked a question and you would like to see if your question has been answered, if it hasn't, when I put the question post up again next week, add your question in there. And if I haven't had a chance to do that, because obviously I appreciate that a lot of people ask me questions and I try and get to as many people as possible, but as always, I will try and do the members first. So if you would like that, then please join me in the video. Now, as always, I start with my waffle. So firstly, I would like to say thank you so much to every single one of you who wished my mummy a happy birthday. I showed her the video yesterday and she had a lovely day, and something really lovely happened at the end of it, but she had a really lovely day. And obviously, so I showed her the video, and then I later on showed her all the comments that were coming through, and she just got really emotional, and she was just like, oh, you have just such lovely people on your channel. Hair. And I was like, yes, I do. I have, I feel personally, the best community here. I appreciate that all YouTubers probably think that about their own community, but I feel I do. I feel I do have the best community here. Apologise for the fact I didn't actually get up and close my blind, so maybe if I shuffle over a bit and block my head off from that shiny bit behind me. So yes, she was very blown away. And to be honest, so was I. Nearly, all of you, so many of you wish my mum happy birthday, and just thank you so much for that. And what was really lovely is that probably a few months ago, my mum has a cross necklace and a ring, and it's peridot stone, because that's August, which is her birthstone, and it's like my dad got it for her. The necklace he got for her when they very first got together, so she's had it such a long time, and then she got the ring that's like an eternity ring. So for some reason, we don't know how, but my mum lost her necklace. She was here, she was staying here for the weekend with my dad, and when she got home, she said to me, I think I've left my necklace there. And I was like, you haven't. And we literally searched everywhere. We searched everything, everywhere, every kind of nook and cranny, you name it, we looked, in the handbags, everywhere. And she was really, really upset. And we were like, I'm sure it will turn up. And it's like, but it didn't. And then literally, weirdly enough, 2 weeks later, she was at home and she rang me and she's real upset. And she's like, I've lost my ring. And I was just like, what do you mean you've lost your ring? She's like, I've lost my ring. I've lost my peridot ring. And I was like, how have you lost it? She said, I don't know. I literally always take it off. I always put it in my jewelry box. I really, really just don't know how I've lost this, and she's like, because sometimes they go to a place called Warren, which is like a holiday place. And I was like, have you lost it there? And she's like, I've rung up, because I'm pretty sure I haven't, because I always put it in a specific place. So I was like, this makes no sense. This is so bizarre. How she loses, her necklace here, and then she literally loses the ring like 2 weeks later of the same kind of set, and so yeah, she was really, really upset. So my dad, today, was yesterday for her birthday, he bought her a new cross, and she was really made up with it. And she was like, oh, it's just so lovely. And I have to wear, I'm sorry, I know I'm waffling a bit, but I will get to the point, but I have to paint the picture. So I have to wear these kind of wristbands, which have got like acupuncture pressure here, because I suffer with like motion sickness. So when I'm going in the car, or I'm traveling as a passenger, it's like, especially after I've eaten, I really feel sick. So I wear these bands, and they're amazing, by the way. So for anyone who suffers with travel sickness, forget the pills. These are amazing, and they're so cheap. You can buy them on Amazon. And so anyway, but I forgot them. So I said to my mum, I said, have you got your pair? Because my mum has a spare pair at hers. And she's like, yeah. And she was looking for them. She's like, She goes, I don't believe this. She goes, I can't find them. And I was like, what do you mean you can't find them? We literally had them a week ago. I gave them to you to keep here. And she's like, yeah, I know. I don't know what. I said, have you checked your bag? She's like, yeah. I said, are you sure? And she's like, yes. I've literally turned both my bags that I normally bring to yours. I've turned them upside down. I've literally, my grey bag and the brown bag, I've turned them upside down. And she's like, I cannot find them anywhere. So my dad was kind of like doing his usual, raising his eyebrows and like, mother loses something again. I can't really comment on that because I do lose things myself. And he's like, look, maybe, he's like whispered to me, maybe you should go and give your mum a hand. And I was like, yeah, okay then. So anyway, so I go into the bedroom and she's like, literally, she's got all the bags upside down. And I was like, and she's like, and I go to the grey bag. She's like, well, she goes, no point looking in there because it won't be in there. And I was like, well, look, it doesn't hurt to have a second pair of eyes. You know, it's getting quite late. Maybe you're a bit tired. She's like, oh, fine. So anyway, so I'm looking through the bag and then I go into like the side pocket and I'm like, and I just grab this and I pick it out and it was my mum's necklace that she lost here, but I was at my mum's. So I'm literally holding it and she's looking at me and she's looking at the necklace and then she's looking at me again. There's like this moment of like silence and then she's like, have you found my necklace? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, where was it? And I was like, in that bag. And she's like, no. And I was like, yeah. She's like, that's not possible. And I said, and in my head, I'm thinking, I'm just going to have another look again. And I put my hand in and I pulled out her ring. Now, I had to say to my mum, because this was so bizarre, because I had to say to my mum, look, I haven't held these back and then just gone, ta-da, surprise, on your birthday. I said, because I saw how upset my mum was, so I would, I can pull gaffes, but I would never do something like that. I'd never be so mean. But I felt like I had to kind of say, look, mum, this isn't me. You know, I didn't just, she's like, no, I know that. She said, and she literally just burst into tears. And she was just like, oh my God, you found my necklace. You found my ring. Oh my, it's the best birthday ever. You know, and it was just like such an emotional moment for her and I was so, so pleased for her because they meant so much to her. So she's like putting them on and she's going in and she's showing, and my dad was like, where did you find them? And I was like, in the grey bag. And he's like, that's not possible. And I said, well, that's where they were. He said, we literally turned that bag inside out. We shook it really hard on the bed. And it wasn't like they were in a pocket that was zipped. It was just an open pocket. So think of that what you will, guys. I don't know whether, you know, people, you know, whether you believe whatever you believe, but I feel that somebody up there was looking down on my mum and they were like, you know what? We're just going to give you an extra happy birthday today. But it was just bizarre because if I hadn't have forgotten my wristbands, which I have to wear, if I'd have brought mine, then I wouldn't have been searching for them, you know, in my mum's bag. And then we wouldn't have found this, you know. And my mum wears this bag all the time. So, and it's literally just like an inside pocket. And they're in, and it was with like things that she'd used. Like there was a bit of tissue in there. There was her gloves in there, because she has a bit of arthritis. So she had her arthritis gloves in there. And then she had just some other bits in there. And I was just like, how did you not know they were in there? She's like, I genuinely don't know. She said, I can't explain it. All I know is that we literally pulled the bags inside out. We were looking and we could not find them. But what was bizarre was the fact that she lost the necklace here and the ring at hers, but both were together in this pocket. So I don't know the explanation to that, but you know what? I think it was lovely to see my mum super happy and that she's got her jewellery back. And then of course my dad, being my dad, goes, well, what are we going to do with the other necklace then? And he's like, great. He said, I can take that back now and get a bottle of whiskey. So I was just like, yeah, good one, Dad. So yeah, so a lovely story to top my mum's birthday off. So I just wanted to share that with you here, guys, because, well, as I like to share these things with you. So by now, if you do not know what to do, grab your drink of choice, which mine is my Volvic Touch of Fruit sugar-free mango water. And the only reason I've grabbed this because I was drinking it, I've just got in from speaking with a client and I'm like, I've just grabbed this because I needed a drink. So But grab your drink of choice, whether it be, like me, flavoured water, or maybe you just like plain water, or maybe with some ice, a slice, as I always remember one of my subscribers telling me, or maybe you like whiskey with water, or maybe you would like what can I think of? We'll go with a fruity cider. I don't think we've had that for a while. So a fruity cider, because it's warm here again. So, you know, maybe you like to sit in your garden or sit by your window with a cold of pear cider, or one of my favorites, which is strawberry and kiwi. Because as I always say, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So grab your drink and let's dive right in. So Bubbles, as you can see, I've now gone and just pulled that too, because the glare was annoying me actually. Appreciate that you see a little bit of a glare with the light that I've got in the background, so I try to duck my head occasionally so you don't get that. Well, so in this video, I'm going to be answering your questions. And at the end of that, if you want to see yourself on the bubble board and be mentioned here on the channel, I will be mentioning the members that have joined. If you have joined after, so I kind of do it where the last 7 days. So if you've joined kind of after that, then you will go on next week's, but I haven't forgotten you and you will be up there, so don't worry. Also, I would like to say that next week I am taking a break from the book. Or I might do one, depending on what's going on in the week. I might do one chapter, but I'm going to take a break and then I'll come back to it the week after, because what I'm noticing is I'm missing other things that I could be talking about on the channel, and also because it's so heavy going. And I think a lot of you are getting a bit sick of it as well now. And I know that you really do like my take on that, but it's really heavy. And to be honest, after the last chapter that I did, it took a lot for me to kind of just bring myself back down again. So I think I need to take breaks in between to do this. So, and I hope you understand that. I'm sure you will, because I know that you all kind of have been saying, you know, look, if it's too much, take a break. So, I mean, I will be doing other videos on the channel, but I feel like I'm just going to take a week's break from talking about Tom Bower's book, as there are other things coming up in the news regarding them and other celebrities. And I know that I don't get as many views on those, but it still is important to me to keep those going. So there's a varied amount for the people that don't want to talk about Harry and Meghan or don't want to listen to them. They've also got videos that they can look at as well. So I like to keep it varied. And also I would like to keep my sanity, because they are deeply, deeply frustrating and toxic. So I can feel it happening. It's happening again. It's happening. I can feel it. Where's my fan? As I'm sitting here, I can literally feel it coming on. Honestly, I swear it just waits. It waits purposely until I come on camera. And then it's like, no, I'm going to heat your body up like it's a flipping radiator. No, I don't want it. Take it away. And then reading the comments and people are kind of like, oh, well, I hate to break it to you, but this could go on for years. Thanks. No. I have, for people that have said things, I have been trying the black cohosh. I have ordered myself the cooling mat, so I'm hoping that will help. I haven't got in my cool tub today because I've been busy, but as soon as I finish this video, I will be getting in that cool tub. So, questions, guys. So let me just go. Just because I've got all my questions here. So let me, like I say, if there's any questions that I miss out, please reiterate them again for next week, because I will be doing this every single week. I've decided to do that. And on the odd occasion, if I've got time, I might even just do a live and say, you know, come on and ask me questions. So, okay, Cami says, a person who is a narcissist, can they be cured? I mean, can they become a nice, kind and really genuine person after being and doing all the things that they've done? Okay, so here's the thing. If you have narcissistic traits, yes, because you can develop narcissistic traits, and you can, you know, through being around the right environment or the right people, you can become aware that this is happening. Now, if you have developed narcissistic personality disorder, then it is very, very unlikely that you can be cured as such or changed, because for the most part, people that have this, do not believe there's anything wrong with them. They believe it is everybody else, and they do not surround themselves with people that criticize them. If you do criticize a narcissist, what they will do is they will cut you off. They will cut you out. So this is why when you know, if we're looking at Meghan, for example, the reason narcissists isolate is usually because of they're so insecure that they cannot have anyone else finding out who they are. So, sorry, I've just realized I've got something in my eye. So what they'll do is, so for example, when we saw William scarf Meghan, that was kind of a classic way of him really just not being interested in her. So as soon as you kind of expose them, or as soon as you're trying to change the mind of their mark, so for example, he's trying to change Harry's mind, you become a threat. So they don't sit there and kind of go, oh, you know what, maybe you've got a point. You've got a point in what I'm saying, in kind of what you're saying. So yeah, I might need to look at that. They never, ever do that. What they do is, you've criticized me. You've sinned through what I'm doing. I don't like you. You're now a threat to me. So now what I need to do is now turn the person that I'm manipulating against you, which is what he's done. And then it becomes narc revenge, which is why I believe the story come out about the Rose Hanbury affair, because I think this was Meghan's PR team that was putting this story out, because this was, you rebuffed me because I was trying to win you over and you've gone against that. I now no longer like you, so I'm now going to do something to punish you for doing that, and I'm going to be nasty. And that's what narc revenge is, which is what we've seen with them going over to the States. Now with Harry, we've talked about the fact that he's got histrionic, which is kind of a development from narcissistic personality disorder, but it could also be the fact that he's got narcissistic traits. Now, if he was around, say, the right partner, if he was around the right environment with his family, and he was given those consequences and really made to see, because he's also gone to therapy as well. Well, we think he has anyway, albeit that I feel like it's not really done much good by his behavior. But there is every chance that Harry has the potential, even though I do think that he's always been a bit of a sport brat and he's always had that, but to me, he's not got that kind of sociopathic aspect to his behavior that Meghan's, the way she's behaved, it looks like she's got. So it's very possible that given the right environment, that he could potentially grow up and change, potentially. So it really does depend. Narcissistic traits, yes, they can be changed. Narcissistic personality disorder, very, very, very rarely, if, you know, because they just don't believe they do anything wrong. It's always everybody else. And they would it'd be very unlikely for them to come to therapy. The only time they might is if they've been told they should, or if they think it's a bit of a challenge, and they can manipulate the therapist. I mean, I've had a narcissistic client, and they've tried to manipulate, and when it didn't work, they got very nasty, very nasty. It then become they put bad reviews up. They put they then would I had it where they text me kind of really quite nastily. In the end, I had to say to them, if you do this anymore, I will have no other choice but to block you. And I really don't want to do that, but I will block you. And they persisted. And so in the end, I blocked them. And I didn't hear anything more about them after that. But that's the type of thing they do. They will just really be nasty. If you do something against a narcissist, prepare for narc revenge. And this is what You will get friends that will turn against you, and then they will try and get, which is kind of where we call the flying monkeys, they will try and get other people to turn against you. They will make phone calls, they will make texts, they will do whatever it takes to get everyone on side. They will not allow you to win. So they become the victim and you are the person that needs to be attacked, and they will do as whatever they can. They will turn family against you, friends against you, whoever they can get to believe, they will turn against you. And it can be incredibly damaging when you're on the receiving end of this. So my advice to you is, do not necessarily challenge a narcissist, because it will never go well. What I would necessarily do is just step away and ignore them. And you still might get narc revenge, depending on what their aim is, but you're less likely to get more if you keep coming back at them, because you're fueling them, you know. So the best thing to do is ignore, because eventually they will stop because you're ignoring them. But if they think they can get that narc fuel, like what we see with Meghan and Harry, because the media are doing that for them, then they will carry on. And that's why you're seeing these continuous jabs at the royal family, is because the media are giving them the narc supply, and that's why they're doing it. So I'm sorry, I know it's a bit long-winded, but that's the answer to that one. Catherine, I'd be interested in your thoughts about the more recent ramping up of the Markles' connection to yachting and other connections with and others connected with that. Did Andrew go there first? Is the glaring suggestion. Okay, so going by the reports that I've seen, the evidence that I've seen, I believe that there's every possibility that Andrew is connected to this. I have a theory, which is why I feel that the Yorks have been more supportive of them, because I think that they know that Meghan, especially with all the thing that was going on with Epstein and everything else, I have a feeling that they don't want any more bad publicity, and Meghan, I think, potentially has something. This could also explain why the royal family are not challenging them as much as what they could, why they're letting them get away with things. Is because, like I said with Nat, the best thing to do is ignore, because if they challenge, then she's going to come back with something. She'll be like, do you know what, you want to play that, then I'm going to do this. And if she's got any evidence that they know that could be leaked to the press or something like that, then there's every chance that she might have the royal family over a bit of a barrel here, which might explain why they are allowing her to get away with things, or him to get away with things. I don't know, but that's my theory. And that's why I also think that she's been friends with, is it Beatrice or Eugenie, one of the two, because obviously they're the daughter. Now, the yachting thing, some of the pictures I've seen, obviously there are pictures of her on a yacht, which looks like a yacht. But however, we don't know for sure if that's actual yachting as such. Now, given the fact that she was going to these, apparently seems to be going to these Trump parties, is it a far stretch that she would utilize this? I hate to say it, but no, it's not. It's not, given the fact that she seems to have this history of being quite unfaithful to people. She seems to be overtly sexual, especially in what I believe the beginning, which is why I think that she was able to love bomb Harry the way she was. So would she be going with other girls to meet rich men on yachts and for favors and things like that? Yeah, I believe she would. Now, obviously, I haven't seen proof, but reading between the lines, and I haven't read all of Tom Bower's book yet, so I don't know everything. But yes, I think that there could be a connection there, and I do potentially think that there might be something she knows about Andrew, in which case that could be one of the reasons when we've talked about possible blackmail, and I'm going to say allegedly because at the end of the day this is just my opinion. I don't know for sure, but the dots kind of do connect a little bit. So I do have a sneaky feeling that this could be what she's got on them, because they don't need any more bad publicity where that's concerned. So just a theory. Oh, Ruth, you've answered the same. You've asked the same. My question is, can narcissists be cured? Well, hopefully you'll know that I have asked that in the question just now. Okay, so that's just those questions. Let me just go and see, because I've got another one. Margaret, I love being part of the bubble family. Ah, oh, bless you. Well, I love you being part of the bubble family too. Oh gosh, my computer's being a bit slow today. Bear with me, peoples. Okay, Letty Lopez. How reliable are Tom Bower's sources or research? His book lays out info just like the movie The Truman Show. It's like he's been studying her all her life. I would say the sources are very, very reliable. Tom Bower is an ex-barrister, so he is not going to put anything in that book that has not been checked, triple checked, and checked again and again and again. He also would have gone through it with his team of lawyers, because they, solicitors rather, I'm talking like I'm an American, because they would have gone through everything to make sure there's nothing there that cannot be backed up by evidence. So I think that's why I know there's been a lot of disappointment in some areas of the book, but I think that you've got to read between the lines in some things, because I think it's amazing in some of the stuff that's been being said, but it's more in the what's not being said that's been said, if that makes sense. But also the fact that I think that there's probably been things that have been said to him, but the person has said, but I don't want it to go in the book. So I would imagine there might at some point be a part 2, maybe. I'd imagine that perhaps he's not even finished. I think there's probably other things that he's not been able to put in the book that maybe he was in the process of checking and he hasn't got all his facts together. But I would say that the reason it looks like he's been studying her his whole life is because he's gone right back to the beginning. So he's decided to do this from the beginning. Not just like from the Oprah or from when he's met Harry or he's met Harry. She's met Harry. So he's gone back to the beginning to, I guess, paint the picture of her background, so you get a real sense of where this started to develop, why it was developing, and who was responsible, how she was as a child, teenager, XYZ. So yes, I think they are very factual. I think that he's done a lot of little Easter eggs in there that I think really are great that I've seen so far, and I think there's probably a lot more that he either just hasn't been able to fit in the book, or he wasn't able to put in the book because either he couldn't fact check it. So if he got told something, there wasn't any evidence to back it up. So that leaves him open to be sued. So he hasn't put those in there, or there's things he's been told and they've said, look, I really don't want that in the book. So, but that, at some point those people might change their mind, in which case then he's got all that there, so he might even do a second one. I don't know. Or he might be saving some things to see what Harry says, and then he might release another one. So I don't know, but I do think, yes, absolutely, being the fact that he is an ex-barrister, he is not going to put anything in that book that hasn't been fact checked. But the biggest tell of all is that they have not sued him. Not a dicky bird. So, and we know how litigious they are. So if they were going to, they would certainly be doing that. So yeah, so we'll see. Night Owl 2 says, I'm wondering if it is a swipe at that Kensington and St James Palace photo wishing her a happy birthday yesterday. What is your thoughts? Yes, it's always less is more with the Queen. It's like she just is so amazing at getting a point across without actually getting a point across. You know, she doesn't do anything to create this you know, it's like the classy royal family. You know, the Cambridges wishing Meghan a happy birthday, but it was very basic. You know, they used the most recent photograph of her, you know, where she was in the UK, you know, and you know, the photographs were nice. I mean, I don't do this. I never speak badly about how Meghan looks, or, I mean, you know, I'm not judging anyone that dislikes her and wants to say whatever they want to say. You're free to your opinion, but that's just not how I work. And, you know, or her appearance. I will say that I think that some things she wears are not necessarily flattering for her frame. And I think that sometimes I do feel that she, perhaps if she had less makeup and stuff on, she might look better maybe. But the photographs they used were not terrible photographs. But I do think that, yes, they were the most basic happy birthday wishes ever, you know. But
I'm having trouble connecting. I'll keep trying.
No, Alexa, we didn't ask you to keep connecting. Just stop listening. What did I say? Or was it Echo? Echo.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Stop listening.
I'll keep trying.
Stop listening. Big Brother is always watching you. Now, I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong, but was there any happy birthday from Harry and the children? Was there anything? Anyone? Was there? Or did I miss it? Because I don't go on their website, obviously, because I'm not giving them my information. But I don't know. But yes, I think it's very telling, the fact that, you know, they are very classy. The fact that they will not give her an inch where she will go, see, they didn't wish me happy birthday. They're so horrible. She just doesn't. Yeah, they're just great. They are. I have such respect for the way they deal with things. So yeah, I'm really bad at the minute. I've just noticed, you know, I spoke to you yesterday, so waffling on a bit again, about my broken vein under my eye. It's like I'm really noticing that it's coming through. It's like, it's so bad. And I'm so it's so strange because I'm so conscious of it, whereas other people are kind of like, I can't even see it. What are you talking about? That's better. But it's like, you know, you have that one thing that you just like notice, and it's like, and then I'm literally homing in on it. It's like, so yeah, that is what I thought. I never mentioned it yesterday because I did not want to take away from my mum's birthday. Bless her heart. So I never mentioned it. But what was good was that no one on the channel was like, oh, did you know that that your mum shares the birthday with Meghan? Now, I apologise if I say this wrong. Zehra? Is it Zehra? Zehra? I apologise if I do say that wrong. I was wondering what you thought about Will... I was going to do a video on this next week. What you thought about Will Smith's apology video. If it's too off topic, could you please talk about how you hold a narcissistic person accountable for his behaviour without provoking him? He just said at the bottom, you don't need to try and pronounce my nickname. Should have read that bit first. I can answer that. I thought it was, I mean, an apology is an apology, right? But they're words. They're just words. And the way I view this is, you know, this is too late. You know, firstly, you know, you should not have done what you did in the first place. And then he says that it was nothing to do with his wife. That is utter BS, because everyone with a pair of eyes, or anyone that's heard about it, could knew that he was laughing, and then he saw her face and then flipped out. So you cannot tell me that this was nothing to do with your wife's reaction, because you were laughing at what he was saying. And it was like literally like probably saw her face, or she said, or you heard her say something, and then he was like, oh, I've got to be a big caveman and go and defend my wife. So I do not buy that bit at all. But I'm sorry, but I think that this apology is just coming off the back of the fact that he has had it, a lot of things stripped. People are not happy with the way he behaved, and he's trying to salvage his career. I don't think this is a heartfelt apology. I mean, he's tried to reach out apparently to Chris Rock, and Chris Rock's like, do you know what, I'm over it, don't want to talk about it anymore. And that's he's well within his rights to do that, because the bottom line is he's only doing that, Will, to make himself feel better, to get himself off the hook. He wants to apologise, and he wants to be made to feel better. He wants to be forgiven. And because Chris Rock doesn't, it's like that doesn't compute with Will Smith. It's kind of like, yeah, but I need to make this better. Well, that's about you. You did this. So if he's angry and he doesn't want to talk to you about that, you've got to accept that. You've got to accept that is. And it's like with everybody, if you do something wrong, firstly, I always say when I talk to clients, sorry is just a word. Sorry means nothing if it's not backed by actions. So if someone's sorry, then when you say sorry, it's you've got to back that with a change of behavior. So for me, it's like with Will, it's like, you should be now going out and really trying to make amends by, even if you say, for example, finding out a charity that maybe Chris Rock supports, and maybe donating some money to the charity, or just really trying to show that you really are sorry, not just go on camera to the world to be like, I'm really sorry about what I did, violence is just not okay. Well, we all know that. Tell us something we don't know. Why are you sorry? Why did it happen? Be sincere. But to me, it didn't come across sincere. I didn't believe him when he said, oh, it was to do with, it wasn't to do with my wife. I'm sorry. No, don't buy that. But like I say, when you're saying sorry, if someone says sorry to you, just, what I always say is why, I need to know why you feel you're sorry. Because if someone is sincere, a lot of the time they will say, I'm sorry because I realised that what I said, that was really wrong. And you can then kind of go into depth, yeah, do you know what, actually, it was wrong. This is how I felt when you said that. Now, you'll find that if someone is not very sincere with their apology, what they'll then try to do is try to defend their actions. So if you then come back with, because what they're expecting you to do is go, oh, okay, thank you for your apology. Don't need to say anything else. But if you then start to kind of go, well, do you know why you're sorry? Or do you know what, actually, you really did hurt me when you said that. What you'll find then, if someone isn't very sincere, is that they will not like you going a bit more in depth with that. So what they'll then kind of go is, well, yeah, no, I get that, I get that. But you know what, but when you did that, that's kind of why I did, so they'll start backtracking their apology. So then you're kind of like, well, so you're not really sorry then. So people sometimes just want to say the word sorry, and then they want to then be let off the hook. It's everything about them. But if you're really sorry, if you really do believe you've done something wrong, then don't just say the word I'm sorry. Just say, do you know what I recognise I'm really sorry. What can I do to make this up to you? What can I do to show you that this is not just me saying I'm sorry, that I really genuinely am sorry for hurting you? And the other person can then go, do you know what, I don't need you to do anything else. And that's fine. And that's their choice. But I think it's a good way to say that this is not just me just giving you lip service. I'm not just going to say I'm sorry. I mean it. I genuinely mean I'm sorry. But for anyone that's on the receiving end, that's how you can usually tell if someone's genuine, is if you then start to kind of show them how you felt. You know, I was really hurt. Actually, do you know what? It made me really upset, or I felt quite angry, because suddenly they're going to become uncomfortable. But if they know they're really sorry, they're going to sit with that uncomfortableness, because it's going to be like, do you know what? I deserve that. I deserve to feel uncomfortable right now. So that's how you know if someone is genuinely sorry, because it becomes more than just words. You know, so I hope that answers your question. What was the other thing? How can you hold a narcissistic person accountable? Firstly, it really does depend on the narcissistic person. It depends on what they've done, because there are leveling degrees of narcissistic behavior. It's whether or not they're showing narcissistic traits, or whether or not they have narcissistic personality disorder. If they have a disorder, then the chances are you can't, because they won't want to hear it. And then what they'll do is they'll get angry, and then they will come back with not revenge. They won't want to hear it. So the main thing is then you've got to form that kind of almost like outer body shield where you don't let them penetrate, because they work on the fact of you're going to take things personally, because they want to find that vulnerability within you. So you have to almost like grow this kind of stronger skin, especially if it's a family member, in not letting them get to you. If they have narcissistic traits, then it's very possible that you might be able to say to them, you know what, when you did this, I kind of just want to, you can kind of put it in a way that's, you're saying to them, I want to understand why you said that, or why you felt that was okay to do or say. Put it back to them and see what they say. Now, if their response is kind of angry and aggressive, then you're probably not going to get anywhere. So you can try and catch them on a time when they're maybe less in that narcissistic frame of mind. But I would say for the most part, it's unusual to hold a narcissistic personality type with accountability, because for the most part, they don't know it. They don't know they're that. A person with narcissistic personality disorder, it is highly unusual for them to know they have narcissistic personality disorder. Now, yes, they can have narcissistic traits, and you can be aware that you've got narcissistic traits, but the actual disorder itself, very, very rare. I haven't met anyone that if I said to you're a narcissist, you've got narcissistic personality disorder, well, that wouldn't go down well. That's why you never get a narcissist coming to therapy. You never get, they don't hold themselves accountable for anything. So it would be very rare to hold them accountable for something, because they just won't see themselves doing it. And they will tie you up in knots. They will gaslight you. They will do everything possible. So then somehow, it's then becomes your fault, and you'll get to a point where you'll feel like you're going crazy. So the best thing to do is really just do not engage with them. If someone's to do with your family, let's say, you need to get a skin like Teflon really to cope with a family member, because the less you engage, the less you're kind of on their radar. If you're very much kind of like, I'm not interested, you really have to act like you really don't care, because they're quite insecure people, really. But if they can find that weakness within you, or that vulnerability, they will find it and they will use it. So if you kind of act like you don't care, what they say doesn't matter, what you say has no effect on you, then they can't really penetrate that, because there's nowhere to go with that. So, and unfortunately, they will probably move on to somebody else they can use and manipulate. So I hope that answers your questions for today. So like I say, if any of you have had a question that you have not had answered for some reason, I have gone through all of the ones in the question Q&A. So if you have put one in the comments box or something like that and I've missed it, please add it to the Q&A on the community page, because that is where I genuinely read from. And like I say, I will always do members first, because that is a little, something that you have for being a member. You have that little extra thing. Right, so members, the new members on the channel. So we have got, so like I say, if you have joined after, you know, in the last probably 6 days, you will be added next week, because I always do it kind of, is it a week behind? Yeah, a week behind, just so I'm not, you know, so I just, you know, make sure everyone gets their moment. Because if I have too many, then it's like you're just going to be like, oh, just one of, you know, you just blend into the background. So we have Marge M, who has joined our bubble community. So well done, Marge M. Thank you very much. And don't forget, because you are now a member, you are in, if you want to, you are in with a chance of winning my personal book of Tom Bowers, because it is members, Patreons, and the Bubble Tea Club only that have the chance to win this book. Then everyone gets an opportunity to win a signed copy. I have 2 signed copies that I'm going to be giving away. And so so everyone has a chance. And then I will also have 5 copies of the book, which I'll be sending out from the manufacturer, but they won't be signed or have anything in there from me. Now, I am extending the competition for another week, purely and simply because the books are not readily available. Now, my book is, obviously, but I haven't finished with my book yet, so you won't get that book until I've finished with it, until I've done the chapters. But even the 2 books that I've ordered to sign to send out, I've not even received those yet. So, and also I think then there's going to be the 5 books that I want to send out, and I'm looking, and a lot of them are sold out. So that you may have to hold off, I'm afraid. Now, I appreciate the fact that maybe not all of you want to hold off, so you might want to buy your own copy, and that's absolutely fine. But so when I do the competition, if I give your name, if you win but you don't want the copy, then just message me and say, can you pass it on, because I'll have some runners up. So just pass it on to a runner up, and then the first runner up will get that copy. So even if I call your name out and you've changed your mind and you no longer want it, I'll pass it on to somebody else. And then, you know, guys, if you want to do a round robin, if you finish with the book and you want to pass it on, you know, to somebody else within the community, you're more than welcome to do that, and we can certainly set that up. It'll be quite nice to do that. So yeah, so Marge M, you are the first one I called out. Carolyn V, you are my next lovely bubble member. Darla P, so welcome Darla to the bubble community. Christine R, Vanessa, Teresa S, Kieran, and Sylvia H. So those are the ones that have joined up so far. So like I say, if any of you have joined up over the last 5 to 6 days and I haven't read your name out, don't worry, you'll be going up next week, and I will be reading your names out next week. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's probably not as scintillating as the others, but like I say, I will be taking a break from Tom Bowers' book next week. So if you have anything that you would like me to look at, things that are in the media, then please let me know in the comments and I will take a look and do a video on it. If you have any other books that you would like me to read, that when I finish Tom Bowers' book, you would like me to do, you know, a read on some other, you know, something in another book, then, you know, I know a few of you have said Lady C's book. I can certainly have a look at that. You know, just like I say, let me know. I might even just, you know what, I might even think about setting up a second channel, and I might just do, you know, Bubble Book Club, you know, where we discuss various books. You know, I might do that. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. So yeah, so thank you to everybody who has joined me today. Thank you to everyone, like I say, who's wished my mum happy birthday. Thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel. Oh yes, oh my gosh, how did I forget this? Oh my gosh, we are at 17,000 subscribers, Bubbles. We have hit the 17,000 mark. Woohoo! How did I forget that? I should have said that at the beginning of the video. Oh my gosh, 17,000. Now I appreciate that could dip a little bit, but doesn't matter. Today we have hit 17,000. I'm 3,000 away from 20,000 subscribers. I am so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who is subscribing. Thank you to everybody who is supporting. The donations, the cups of tea, people that are sending me things, and all of my links will be in the description box below. So please, if you people that are emailing me saying, you know, where can I send you things, what's your address, it is always, every link is going to be in the description box below. So for the people that are wanting my merch, it's all there. I will be changing that though, so if you want to go in and get something, please go in and do that. I will be putting up, and I haven't done it yet, and I keep forgetting to do it, and I'm so sorry, but will be a 10% discount for people, for the bubble members as well, so the Patreon. So I will be putting that somewhere. So I will be adding that in. So yeah, I think that's it for me today, guys. So like I say, don't forget, join me with Trev tonight at 7 p.m. There might be a special guest, don't know. And I love you all, and I appreciate you all, and just to say that if this video hasn't gone up, it's possible that I'll put it up tomorrow, because I've been super busy. I've got the live with Trev tonight, and then I've got to edit this video, so there's every chance that it might go up tomorrow. So please bear with me, but I will mention this on the live. So well, I don't even know why I'm saying that, because if it does go up tomorrow, you're going to be a day late. Oh, just Emma, shut up. Stop waffling. Right, I'm going now. I love you. I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Bye, Bubble family.